This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, is that I want to play a short clip of Jake building Palm Beach County, which is in South Florida, all right, and not being recognized for it, you know. I want this short clip that I found was a historical, I guess a documentary, a biography of the names and personnel who created Palm Beach County. And of course, one of the major names that comes to mind in this documentary or biography is Henry Flagler, co-owner of Standard Oil. When I say co-owner, because it wasn't just Rockefeller who owned Standard Oil, so did Henry Flagler. Most people don't even know that Henry Flagler was partnered with Rockefeller, okay? And the Flagler family is the one that funded the infrastructure that you see in South Florida today. And their family is very powerful, okay? But they don't get much attention because, you know, how these devils operate. They don't want the limelight, all right? They don't want to be known as having a major influence in the creation of this wicked society. So, point is though is that, you know, the Henry Flagler, he wanted this hotel built and he needed labor, cheap labor, and who did he get cheap labor from? Jake, mainly Judah and Benjamin, because South Florida, a lot of the labor force came from Judah and Benjamin, mainly from the Bahamas, okay? Which this hotel right here is a good example. The Royal Ponciana Hotel, all right? It no longer exists, by the way, because the Lord destroyed it, all right? Because this place was built by Jake, and they couldn't reap the benefits of it, and they couldn't even stay near the location, which that's what motivated me to do this lesson, because Jake was treated horribly after they built this hotel for the super rich, the elites, you know, the secret societies, these Edomites, these international bankers. So let me play it, all right, and then you know, this goes to show you, you know, we're still in captivity, we're still slaves here, you know, and Jake, you know, be busting the ass for this devil, and this devil don't give a damn. And he doesn't even give you credit either, okay? That's why, you know, these Edomites are so proud talking about they built America all by themselves, which is a total fucking lie, all right? You needed labor. You needed cheap labor, and you got it from the Israelites. Let me get, but to our people, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right, okay? Because our people, all right, don't understand that we're still in captivity. We're still spoiled, all right? And the reason why we're here is because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, we went against our power, okay? We started worshiping different gods, all right? The gods of the heathens. So the Lord punished us and put us into captivity, all right? And that's why you're catching all this hell and you're not reaping any benefits, all right? So let me play this, and Lord willing, this is edifying.
The guest register read like a census of American money. Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, Astors, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan.
Right. So those are the personnel that attended this hotel. Okay, the international bankers, the secret societies, the Illuminati. The real power. Okay, that run this world. Okay, they chose South Florida as a winter haven. Okay, that's why here in Palm Beach County, okay, down here in South Florida, mainly the town of Palm Beach, all right, they have a term called Billionaires Row, okay, yeah, and this is who they are letting you know who lives here, okay, Billionaires Row, Palm Beach, all right, Billionaires Row in Palm Beach, an exclusive 2 mile stretch along South Ocean Boulevard, situated between the Atlantic Ocean and Intercoastal Waterway. It features sprawling ocean, 2 lakes estates, heavy privacy, and properties valued anywhere from 20 million to upwards of 200 million. Okay, and it's on this island right here. Okay, this island right here. All right, Palm Beach town. Okay, this is where they all dwell at. All right, and also that's where Donald Trump, Mar-a-Lago. Okay, it's not a coincidence that they chose him to be president. All right, because they have easy access to him. All right. Okay. It's not a reason. It's not a coincidence. Okay. But yeah, so this is where they're these billionaires and up, and they also have a term called Wall Street South. Yup. Wall Street or West Palm Beach has earned the nickname Wall Street South because hundreds of major financial firms, hedge funds, and wealth management companies have relocated or expanded their operations to the area. Okay, and you have what's known BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, okay, and several others. Okay, so this is the term, and it's in Palm Beach County, not Miami. Palm Beach, West Palm Beach mainly. Okay, in Palm Beach County. So again, they've always been here. So naturally, these elites, they know who we are. All right, so they're gonna what? Okay, get to work our people to the bone, get that cheap labor and oppress because they know who we are. All right, they know we're the Israelites. So let's play. I just want to make that a point because it's not just the average millionaire, okay, that's dwelling here. It's the super rich and elite that live here. All right, this is their winter haven, their winter homes.
United States presidents, European nobility.
European nobility. Who the hell is that? Okay. When the scriptures say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, it's these Edomites, these so-called white people, starting with the international bankers.
The kind of people whose winter plans could move markets. But here is the detail that changes the meaning of everything Flagler built on.
Right. So let me bring this out one more time. I'm gonna play it, and I'm not gonna stop it, Salakia, but I'm gonna read this one more time. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Right? Because again, who built South Florida? Who built this country? Jake, Israelites. Okay. But these Edomites want to ignore that history. They want to say they did it all by themselves, which is a total lie. Yeah, you provide the money, but the labor came from the Israelites, okay? Mainly the so-called Negroes, all right? And of course, in this documentary, you also have Benjamin too. All right, so let's play this.
J.P. Morgan, United States presidents, European nobility. The kind of people whose winter plans could move markets. But here is the detail that changes the meaning of everything Flagler built on Palm Beach. Before the hotels went up, before the trains arrived, there was already a community on this island, and it would not be allowed to remain.
You see that? So before these devils came here, there was already, okay, it was Jake dwelling here, okay? They were the ones living, okay, on this island, all right? on this island right here, which is now the most expensive island to live on in this country. Okay, you got to be a damn near billionaire if you want to live on this island. Okay, they actually lived right here, Sunset Avenue and North County Road, right here. Okay, because the Royal Poncia Plaza, which this is where the hotel was, but the hotel got destroyed by a hurricane, and then they tried to rebuild it, but then the Great Depression came, and they didn't have the funds, so they had to knock, I think, part of it down, or half of it down, or most of it down. All right, you can go into that history, but the point is that Jake was living right here before these devils came. Okay, you also have there's the Breakers. All right, and these are where the super rich come to vacation and dwell at during the winter season. Okay, so let's play.
When Flagler announced his plans to extend the Florida East Coast Railway through Palm Beach in the early 1890s, African Americans from northern Florida, Georgia, and the Bahamas had moved to the island seeking work.
And that's spiritual. I'm sorry, but I have to make this point. I'm going to let it play. You notice the Lord's bringing back the tribes, all right, the house of David, all right, because it wasn't just so-called Negroes, all right, dwelling here. All right, it was also, which is from the tribe of Judah. It was also, all right, Benjamin, from the West Indies, from the Bahamas. They came here, okay, looking for work. All right, and look, this is actual photos. All right, this is where Jake was living, and then there's the fucking Royal Ponciona right there. Okay, hey, they say a picture. What was that old saying? A picture has 1,000 words, or can say a lot. I forgot the old saying, but all right, this goes to show you, man. Jake being oppressed, man. All right, you can see a clear difference. All right, that's why when the scriptures say in Ecclesiasticus, also known as Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, chapter what is it? Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. You see? Okay? So, when you see this type of oppression, you're like, man, all right, these Edomites need to be judged, because this is a clear example of how Jake was living. All right, building this, and it's going to show. It's going to explain.
Turn of the century, roughly 2,000 black residents lived in a settlement called the Sticks, located near what is now North County Road and Sunrise Avenue.
Right here again. Sunrise Avenue and North County Road. This is where Jake was living at the turn of the century. Okay, the late 1800s, or early 1900s, right?
Not far from the Royal Poinciana. They built churches, established families, and worked the jobs that made Flagler's paradise possible. Laying railroad track, constructing hotels, serving as waiters, bellhops, maids, and laundresses.
Nothing new under the sun. Same thing our people do today. Are not our people, okay, working the hotels, cleaning the hotels, okay? The restaurant business, okay? Same thing, but let's focus on the hotels, man. All right? The tribes are the ones that are maintaining these hotels, all right? While Esau's managing it. Nothing new under the sun, right? Again, who built this hotel? Jake. That was the labor behind it, okay? With the Edomites sitting right there, his proud ass, Henry Flagler, okay? And best believe he's into all types of satanic rituals back then, because that's what these Edomites were doing back then, okay? Child sacrifice, drinking blood, they all did that, okay? Don't let this old, geezer fool you, all right? They were all into that. These are the devils, man, the Bible speaks of. These are the biblical Edomites. While Jake, okay, there's Jake building up, okay, they're building up, these infrastructures, okay, that Esau wants.
The Sticks was the labor force that built Palm Beach. Housed on the very island their labor was transforming.
Right, because that was cheap labor. Again, a gift destroyed the heart. Esau came up in there and said, "Hey, look, you want to make some money? You want to make some, okay, um, money to take care of your family? Hey, go help us build the this hotel, okay, the Royal Pensiona, all right." And Jake, they see money, they see green, they see how Esau is living, you know, living the high life. All right, not knowing, this is a time when Jake is still in darkness, not knowing that, this is his time to rule. They're like, yeah, but hey, but check out what happens next.
By 1912, all of them had been evicted.
Boom.
The circumstances remain disputed more than a century later. Published historical records say the tenants were evicted. The property owners agreed, in the language of the time, to do what was best.
See that? And it reminds me of Jeremiah 50, chapter 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. NLT version, this is what the Lord of heaven's army said. The people of Israel and Judah have been wronged. Here it is, they built, okay, Palm Beach County, like that hotel, okay, and this has been going on throughout the country. All right. Yep. After they're done building it, all right, they're being forced to get away from those areas that they built. Okay, that they put their sweat and labor into. Yet you're gonna have an Edomite say that he did this all on his own. Shit is nasty work, man. Okay, their captors hold them and refuse to let them go. Right, and this proves that we're still in captivity. Okay, and that's why we're standing with great boldness, telling you, hey, the Lord's going to judge you for all the wickedness you have done. Okay, you didn't count for our labors. You didn't care, okay, that you were oppressing the children of Israel, trying to seek your own vision, your own appetite. So yeah, you're going to be judged. Okay, that's why the Lord says in 34, excuse me, I'll read it in KJV 34. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. Right. What does it mean, plead their cause? That he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Right. He's going to judge this place. All right. Because this is grimy what they did. Okay. And now look what Jake says, how they were kicked off, okay, this area. How they were kicked out of this area. Watch.
A persistent oral tradition in the African American community tells a darker version. That residents were lured to a circus or event off the island, and their homes were burned while they were gone.
Right. So they were lured off the island. They were told, hey, get your children, get everyone, okay? Come to this circus, come to this event we got for you. All right. You know how Esau's going to, okay, be a devil. That's why you got to be sober, all right? And vigilant as a roaring lion, right? Doesn't the scripture say that? Be sober and vigilant. All right. He managed to get all Jake off that island so that he can burn their homes down. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil as a roaring lion walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Right. So hey, come to this circus. Thanks for building our hotels and our infrastructure. We really appreciate your hard work, And Jake thinking that Esau trying to be friends with them. That's why you never trust thy enemy. Never trust thy enemy. The scriptures say this is a good example why you should never trust your enemy. Jake goes off, and then whoop, Esau burns their home to the ground. Okay? And then watch what Esau says about this.
Historians at the Palm Beach Historical Society say there is no record of a large-scale fire.
Right. Oh, well, we didn't report this. So this is all lies. That's basically what Esau's saying. All right? Okay? Because he controls the paper, the newspaper. All right? And that's why when you read the news and you hear what's going on in the news, you got to make sure you filter it through the scriptures. Okay? And you got to also source it out. Source it. All right? because these devils love to hide shit or not put shit in their paper. Okay, if they don't want people to know.
African American community members say the historical record was never written by their people.
Yeah, of course, because it was oral. Jake, all right, didn't own a printing press. Okay, so it was all done by oral. Oh, they burnt this. They burnt our homes down.
What is not in dispute is the result. The black community that built Palm Beach was removed from it. They were relocated across Lake Worth to a subdivision in West Palm Beach that a developer named Pleasant City, because, as one chronicler noted, the developers believed the Negroes were naturally happy people.
Naturally happy people. Okay. All right. Why? Because Jake wasn't going to buck up because they'll end up on a fucking tree. Okay? So Jake had to basically take the low because they understood. See, this is the time when Jake had to, understood that this devil would hang him for something small. All right? But Jake still, all right, couldn't see that, hey, even when he gives you some money, he has an alternative, all right, deceptive agenda behind giving you this money, because his whole goal was to remove you from your home. All right.
Many continued to work on Palm Beach Island, but they were not allowed to remain on it after dark. Flagler, meanwhile...
See? So, yeah, that's it, man. You know, that's why, hey, we're still under the curses. And again, that's why the Lord raised us up, because back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him, and made no account of his labors, right? Because at the end of the day, all right, Jake built this country, man. Yet they don't give no account for their labors. And that's why the Lord's going to judge this place, because these Edomites are so proud that they don't even recognize the history, all right, of how this country was founded, how this country was built, all right, how lands were taken, homes were burnt down, all right, lies were told, you know. So, and I'm gonna bring this out and I'll close out. Lamentation chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us. And this is a good example. And if you still want to trust the so-called white man, all right, in 2026, hey, that's on you, all right, and you're in for a rude awakening. That's all I got to say, because these devils aren't to be trusted. They've always been liars. They've always had hidden agendas. They're the devil, okay? All right? Never trust thy enemy, man. Okay, they are the devil. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Wakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders. We're almost out of here. All right. The Lord's going to get us out of here. We ain't got much time here left. This place got to go. For the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. When you pray for Jacob, Shalom.